World Cup fever is heating up with Korean football fans celebrating the team's impressive start. Now, for more on that and other sports headlines, we're now joined by our sportscaster Jason Lee in this studio. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon it is, and it was a good game that we're going to talk about. Probably today's going to be mainly focused on the World Cup, right?
I think it's safe to say that, I'll definitely summarize what happened with Korea and Czechia as well. I'll preview what's going on with Korea taking on Mexico later this week. I'll also talk about Lee Jung-Hoo's hitting streak as well as LPGA action, because we can't talk about Korean sports without at least bringing up the LPGA when they play.
Of course. So, Jason, last week you predicted that the game South Korea against Czechia or the Czech Republic would turn out 2-1. And it happened.
In Korea's favor.
Yes. So, could you please predict 5-0 against Mexico? Please.
6-0, 10-0, sure. We'll get to the Mexico preview in a little bit. But let's first talk about the Czechia game. Indeed, it was a 2-1 win for Korea against Czechia. And, this was a really good game to watch. I mean, there were plenty of opportunities for both teams. But, Korea got the 3 points despite falling behind in the 59th minute. Czechia were expected to be dangerous on set plays. I mentioned that last week. And indeed, that's how they scored their first goal off of a header on a throw-in. And the Czech appeared to score another set-piece goal, but that was correctly ruled offside. More on that play in a little bit. But Korea's goals, they came from Hwang In-bum, who received a really nice pass from guess who? Lee Jung-Hoo, the master of long passes, and then an even more impressive finish by Hwang. I mean, I think we're going to see the highlights from this fake shot and then chip shot goal every day for a while, because it was a beauty. Hwang In-bum was clearly the man of the match after also setting up Oh Hyun-gyu's game winner in the 80th minute. A beautiful run down the right side and then crossed in for Oh to finish on the shot. And I've got to say, Oh Hyun-gyu, also one of the players that I wanted to see more of in this World Cup, and he certainly did not disappoint with the brief opportunity that he got finishing up on the goal. I hope we get to see a lot more of Oh Hyun-gyu.
Yes, definitely. And I agree with you completely with seeing Oh Hyun-gyu more, because actually 4 years ago, he went to World Cup without a number, right? So it was extra touching to see him score that winning goal in the last match. So I want to ask you, what is it about Oh Hyun-gyu that you really like? And can you please mention other players that impressed you?
Well, first off, I think there's a certain feistiness to Oh Hyun-gyu that he's got that I really, really like. He doesn't back down from anything. I think he's the kind of guy that wants the other team to dislike him. And not every athlete is like that. And I think you need at least a few guys on your team that have that sort of attitude. And when you're playing at that level, the thing is, everyone is very, very skilled, and it becomes more about forcing your opponent into making mistakes. And I think Oh Hyun-gyu sort of enjoys being the antagonist and gets under opponents' skin and get them off of their game. So I think he's good at that. They need players like that, and I think it's great to see. Meanwhile, other players that stood out, absolutely. You have to give credit to keeper Kim Seung-gyu, who made a pair of great saves to preserve the victory. What a game he had. Also, a shout out to Baek Sung-ho. Most people might not have caught this, but on the Czechia goal that was ruled offside, Baek Sung-ho kind of shoved Thomas Souček just before the free kick was taken, putting him offside, which is why the goal was disallowed. Very smart play by Baek. A lot of people didn't catch it, but I think he is responsible for that goal not counting.
Right. Excellent performances. And I think these performances give fans enough reason to be optimistic. But we're going to shift now to Mexico, not just Mexico as in the venue, but also Mexico, the team who South Korea is going to face on Friday, 10 a.m. Korean time. Probably Arirang, the office, is going to be cheering again, very loud. But Mexico won their first game 2-0 against South Africa. So what do you think are the chances about Korea winning against Mexico?
Yeah, you know, coming into the World Cup, Mexico clearly had to be one of the favorites. They're the host team. Obviously, they start off with a 2-0 victory against South Africa, so they're off to a great start. But, you know, I think the consensus, if you hear the experts and analysts talk about this Mexico team, a lot of them are saying that this isn't as good of a team as they've put together in the past. Even their 2-0 win against South Africa, and I've got to agree that I don't think that 2-0 win is as impressive as it might have looked on paper. Let's start with that first goal. South Africa's defense completely made a huge mistake gifting the opportunity for Mexico to score, which they did do, but it was an easy goal to score for them because of South Africa's mistake, not because of Mexico's buildup. Also, Mexico's second goal, that was after the first of 2 red cards that South Africa suffered. So it's going to make that game a lot easier for them to win. South Africa playing with just 9 men. So I don't know if I can say that Mexico was full value for this win. It seemed more like it was South Africa shooting themselves in the foot to make this happen. Now, Korea, they're going to have to watch out for Raul Jimenez. He's a forward for Fulham, and he scored the second Mexican goal off of a header. So Korea's, that's their weakness, if anything. They've got to watch out for balls in the air. That's going to be something to watch for. Also, Edson Alvarez of West Ham is their midfield quarterback. He controls the play and starts off most of the plays, so he's the guy that they've got to keep the ball away from in the beginning. Also, Julian Quinones scored the first goal against South Africa, and like I said, that was a goal where the defense for South Africa messed up. However, Quinones still had to make the shot, beat the goalie in order to do so, which he was able to do, which does show that he can be dangerous as well. As for predictions, okay, our favorite part, I can definitely see this being a 1-1 draw, especially because of the home crowd for Mexico. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Korea. And I actually think Korea matches up well against Mexico. And I should also say that Mexico lost their center back to a red card in the game. It was an injury time, but their center back got a red card in the game, and that means he cannot play the next game against Korea. So they're missing their starting center back. Although they are playing in Mexico, I think Korea was more full value for their win compared to Mexico against South Africa. Also, Czechia is a much better team than South Africa as well. So I'm going with 2-1 for Korea.
Okay, I'll just go with what Jason goes with. And I also do hope that a lot of Red Devils, a lot of Koreans will be at the stadium to cheer for that game.
I know.
I mean, there is a home advantage for Mexico.
Yeah, one of my favorite part about the last game was all I heard was they have been good, right?
The Korean crowd was ruckus there,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah, it was definitely a pro-Korean crowd against Czechia.
Right.
It will not be the case against Mexico.
Well, I'll be the one cheering. We'll be the one cheering here at home. So.
They'll hear us through the TV
Go Korea!
monitors.
Yes. Okay, so now let's shift over to baseball. Last week you updated us that Lee Jung-Hoo's hitting streak is at 16 games. Is it still ongoing? What's with him?
So, yeah, last week it reached 16 games as we were on air, and he actually did have hits in 2 more games. In fact, both of those games, by the way, were multi-hit games. So he had 2 hits and then 2 more hits to extend his hitting streak to 18 games. And then he went hitless in back-to-back games before actually getting 2 more hits yesterday against the Cubs. So his hitting streak is over at 18 games, but he just started a new hitting streak with a couple of hits yesterday morning. That has his average now at 331, which is still only behind Miami's Otto Lopez for the best average in all of baseball. So Lee Jung-Hoo still hitting great, and we'll see how he continues.
That's amazing. And any other significant news related to the baseball players playing overseas?
You know, I would say Go Suk is actually playing well. Once again, I've mentioned before that he's been doing well in AAA, and he continues to do so. In 4 June appearances, he has yet to allow a run again in 5 innings of work, while only allowing 1 hit. 0 walks, and he also has 5 strikeouts in that span. So clearly, Go Suk is ready for a promotion to Detroit. It's just a matter of when they need him, because earlier in the season it was okay. He needs to be a better pitcher. He needs to pitch better in order to get promoted. Right now, he is pitching so well that he deserves to be in the major leagues right now, but they just don't need him yet. So if an injury happens, something goes wrong, someone struggles with the Tigers, I can see him getting promoted hopefully in the near future.
Okay, let's keep our eye on that. And baseball overseas, baseball in Korea, and football, so much to watch these days.
Yes.
But also the LPGA, and that's what we're going to wrap up with today. Who was it this time, and was it another win for Korea?
Well, okay, you might recall this time last year, there was an event called the Dow Championship in the LPGA. This is actually a doubles tournament, and you might remember that Im Jin-hee and Lee So-mi won that event for Korea last year, and they were in the hunt together again with Choi Hye-jin and Kim Hyo-ju owning the 3rd round lead going into the final round. Unfortunately, it was another 2nd place finish for Korea, as Americans Gina Kim and Yana Wilson combined for a final round 62, which was good for a 2-stroke victory over Choi Hye-jin and Kim Hyo-ju. Im Jin-hee and Lee So-mi settled for 3rd place in defense of their title from a year ago. And I should mention, of course, that Gina Kim, you hear a name like that. Yes, she is American, but she is a Korean American that wins that championship for America, but, you know, kind of some Korean influence in there as well.
Right, we could say so. And before we let you go, Jason, so the game, the South Korea against Mexico game, the World Cup game, is going to be on Friday. Where are you going to watch it, and how do you enjoy watching the World Cup games these days?
You know, I really wanted to go to Gwanghwamun to watch the games. I love being in public places or in groups of people so that, you know, we can all cheer together for games like that. Unfortunately, I have to go down to Busan right after the game. So I'm going to just kind of watch it at home, and then I've got to hit the road to get down south immediately after. And same with last week. I had to work right after the game. So in both of the first 2 games anyways, I'm going to have to watch from home and then sprint off to work afterwards. But I'm definitely going to be enjoying. I hope if you haven't figured out where you're going to watch it yet, I definitely recommend going to a place like Gwanghwamun or a public area where you can join in. Because I think the great thing about cheering for Korea in soccer matches and sporting events is the cheering part of it, because, you know, Koreans are so great at cheering. So be a part of the atmosphere.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to be in the office, but still I'm going to enjoy it. Bella, maybe, do you have a chance to go out somewhere?
Oh, not out for this game, but for the next one, I think I'm going to plan to go out maybe to, you know, cheer on and get my voice out there.
Okay, tell us more about that.
Yes, we'll do.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason. We're going to see you back here next week.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Bella. We're going to see you back this week.
Yes, I'll see you soon.